Hello, virtual world lovers. Is Second Life stuck on itself? This video is about what it means for a virtual world to be stuck on itself, advantages and disadvantages, and what is this all about? Well, Second Life has been around since 2003, 20 years. So, during this time, people have developed lands, projects, friendships, gathered content. So, each game, each metaverse, each virtual world must live on its own engine or codes or whatever ecosystem it uses in servers to be online and to be available. So Second Life has its own, we could say, engine and its own codes and way to work. And that engine or that software can only take you so far. When you want a big technological revolution, when you want to do more with less resources, when you want efficiency, not just efficacy. Efficacy is when you can do something. Efficiency is when you can do it really well with really less resources, faster, cheaper, and easier. So any virtual world must think that sooner or later it's time to advance and to change and to upgrade, not just updates, but upgrade. Second Life had several updates. It is still very revolutionary for its time, especially when it came out. It was incredibly revolutionary, but it developed along its own software and its own coding. So we've got three things that will keep people tied to a certain virtual world, a certain engine, a certain code, a certain ecosystem, a certain virtual world with the same software. And the things that keep people tied to it, it's the coding, it's the engine where it works, the type of graphical support it has, the coding, the language of coding, which also means there is a language that users can use to produce content. So you can build a car and then you can script with the LSL language. You can script and create a code that you insert in your car, and then people can drive it and blah 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 and touch the horn and whatever, interact with the object. So all of that is inside this virtual world, and it developed along those lines. And then you have content. People acquired content that was specifically built by other people, but specifically built for Second Life as it is now, with the engine and the coding. Also, people develop projects and develop communities and develop buildings and develop friendships that are tied, and groups and communities that are tied to this Second Life, not another Second Life. So when you need to deeply upgrade and deeply change any software, it's like if you have an old version of the GTA and you have the new game of GTA. You cannot use the old stuff on the new game. It's the same thing. So if you really want to upgrade Second Life, you will have a lot of problems, because people spend rivers of money in content that only works with this software, with this engine, with this coding. And people develop business around it, either people buying it, either people building it and selling it, making their business, their livelihood around that. Also, people spend another very precious thing, which is time putting their lands together. You cannot save a sim, a whole island, or even a small land, your home, whatever you have in Second Life in land, you cannot save it and put it in another place. If you close it, it's down, and if you want to open it again, you gotta rebuild everything again, piece by piece. You can save some clusters, some groups of objects, but that's all. You cannot save your world with the terrain, the water, the mountains, the houses, the trees, the animals you put in there. You cannot do that. So this means if Second Life wants to not just update, like Mesh, new avatars, now the most recent PBR, which is objects. So Second Life has been able, in the labs, been able to update a lot of stuff in Second Life, which is great, but a real upgrade to change to a new version, more efficient, less costly, perform higher performance, not so much lag. Lag is still a problem in Second Life. Then you will have serious problems. In a certain way, Second Life is stuck on itself because people build content, consumed content. People have inventories with a lot of stuff that only works in this Second Life, and people develop buildings, communities, and friendships that in groups that are tied to this Second Life. Opening a new Second Life, opening an upgraded version, a new version of Second Life, would mean people would have to, if they wanted people to migrate to the new Second Life, which was already tried. It was Samsar. It was the project that they wanted to open a whole new virtual world, whole new features. I believe most of the people who use Second Life tried it because people were curious, and they were making a real incredible massive investment and publicity about it, so people took it seriously. I tried it, but the problem with the new Samsar was my friends were not there, the good content was not there, everything I had bought I couldn't take it there, and the most basic stupid stuff in Samsar was that I needed a super high-end ultra crazy computer to move around. So I installed it, I tried it, and I couldn't move. I was just like move to the left, and the avatar was 10 minutes of that shit, and I uninstalled it right away. And probably was what most people did, except some crazy wild people who had hyper super quantum computers at their homes. So you have that problem. They tried it, it didn't work, Samsar is not around, and Samsar is not an option. So it's the Ikea effect. People build stuff, gather content, build friendships, build communities, and it's very difficult to say, okay guys, take it all away, all to the trash, let's start from scratch, and let's start buying new stuff, because the old stuff is not gonna work. So, and the content you have in Second Life, it's not built by one guy who says, okay, I'm gonna tweak this content and get it ready for the next platform. No, it's not like that. Like, you have thousands of people building thousands of different stuff for the code specifically for this Second Life. So you cannot just like press a button and all the stuff you have can be ported to the new. Even if Linden Lab wished it to be true, it would be impossible, because the tree you bought from one guy that does not exist anymore, the swimming pool it's from another girl, the clothes you have it's from another store, so it's not just like you can press a button and do it. So Ikea Effect, building relationships, gathering content, building stuff, putting stuff together and making stuff run. So that's not viable to change for a new world. So Second Life in a certain way is stuck on itself. So what are the two ways Second Life can go? It can open a new version and slowly try to migrate people, which is difficult for the reasons I told you, and then close the old one, or keep the old one and keep improving it the best they can, which the past 20 years have shown us it is quite possible. A lot of things, a lot of evolution, mesh objects, capacity to upload certain objects, evolution in code, the new avatars they have, now the PBR. So there are a lot of technological software coding evolutions that allowed Second Life to keep up to date, or to try to do it. So I believe that is the main bet, because the moment, and this is not theory, it happens. Samsar, it's living proof of it. The moment that a new world, new platform from the same company opens up, people are not just gonna flock there, okay? Their activities, their routines, their rituals, their people, their friends, their communities, their buildings, the way they know how to use what they build and what they put together, all that knowledge, all that experience. Like, you start the club, in the first 2 weeks you have to gather your stuff, you have to know how to work with all the gadgets you have in your club. All that is a big learning curve that you invest in. And if you have a new platform with a new content, with new ways to work with it, you got to learn all it all together. And the main problem is also money. like many people in Second Life, they have inventories that are worth something like $2,000, $10,000, $1,000. Many people have, because they accumulated stuff along these years, 20 years. So even if you spend just a little bit per month, it adds up. So you're not going to throw all that away in your friendships, your venues, your buildings, your communities, your relationships. You cannot do it. So yes, in a way, Second Life is stuck on itself. So this is a cautionary tale for future metaverses that want to open. Are they capable of upgrading really hard in the future? Or are they just capable of updating a little bit, and sooner or later they'll have to make the big decision? Well, so far it works. The only problem I see in Second Life, the main problem, is lag. It's not easy. It's not easy because imagine Roblox, imagine GTA, imagine other small metaverses. They work with content that is made by developers, and it's inside. When you are using Roblox or GTA, well, GTA you are using what they give you there in the game. The developers build stuff for the game. In Roblox you can put things together, but it's all everything like Lego pieces in the in the platform. I wouldn't call Roblox a game. But Second Life is different. Second Life has a lot of freedom. They allow you to upload a lot of stuff, create your own scripts with the code they have, the LSL code. So there is so much freedom to bring stuff in that it's impossible to guarantee all that stuff is super low lag. So it's gonna happen lag. But anyways, I still think they could invest a little bit more and have a little less profit, and invest a little more on server performance. So offer more server capacity for the same amount of money we are already paying. But that's another story. Yes, virtual worlds can get stuck on themselves by these reasons I just told you, and Second Life is stuck on itself. So far so good. Let's hope the updates are enough and we don't need big, massive, game-breaking, game-changing upgrades. Thank you once again.